We must understand God's mark, His sign, His seal. We went through this in Revelation chapter 13. And the Lord delivered to me 2 tablets of stone written with the finger of God. They were not to be messed with. Deuteronomy 9 verse 10. So God's seal, God's mark is in the heart of His law. It's the Sabbath. And it gives authority, as we have said, to the whole law. Now, are we saved by keeping the law? No, let's get this quite clear. But without keeping the law, will we be saved? No. See? Always ask the counter question as well. Now the point is this. If we're not saved by keeping the law, then how are we saved? By grace. Grace saves us. 100%. Grace saves us. We are saved by grace. So, if I now keep the law, what am I acknowledging by keeping the law? I'm acknowledging a higher authority than myself. Is that correct? If I keep the law, I am acknowledging a higher power than myself. And if I keep it exactly like He said, I'm acknowledging His authority. Is that correct? So whose righteousness am I acknowledging? Jesus's. So don't think that by saying keep the law, you are legalistic. No. In actual fact, by keeping the law, if you do it right, you are propagating righteousness by faith. Because you are acknowledging His superiority in your life. You are acknowledging your dependence upon Him. And you come in line with His wishes because you are acknowledging His fullness of understanding. Does that make sense? So, by not accepting man's laws, but accepting God's laws, I acknowledge my dependence upon Him. And I accept His righteousness by faith. So, the mark of the beast message involves righteousness by faith and obedience as a consequence. As simple as that. I gave them my Sabbaths as a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctifies them. So where does your righteousness come from? From Him, not from me. This is righteousness by faith. So the third angel's message is righteousness by faith in verity. Absolutely. It could be construed as legalism if you wanted to. But in actual fact, what you are doing by keeping the law, if you understand it correctly, is acknowledging a higher power. And the mark of the beast, Sunday is our mark of authority. Well, they say it themselves. The church is above the Bible, and this transference of the Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. Catholic Record, September 1, 23. She took the pagan Sunday, she made it the Christian Sunday. The pagan Sunday, dedicated to Balder, became the Christian Sunday, sacred to Jesus. And she acknowledges it. She says, of course, the Catholic Church claims that the change was her act, and the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical power. So it's not a question so much of a day as it is of authority. If I obey this system, I am exalting human laws, and basically I'm saying I'm getting my sanctification from whom? From the church. And that's what you want. No church can give me sanctification, not even the one that I'm in. No church can give me sanctification. Only Jesus Christ can give me sanctification. That's it. So, who do I acknowledge? The earthly powers or the heavenly powers? That's the question. Choose whom you want to acknowledge. God or man? The power of sanctification through God or the power of sanctification through man, which leads to death. And unfortunately, all the world wanders after the beast. So the third angel's message is, do not acknowledge man's law superior to God's law. The test will be the Sabbath. Might they put a microchip into your hand? Maybe. Maybe to control your buying and selling. But a chip is not your character of allegiance. He has the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus, Revelation 14. That's the last message of warning to the world. It's a tough message. It's a very tough message, and a very unpopular message. And he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, Psalms 91 verse 1. If you choose the Lord, you have nothing to fear. He'll take care of you. He's promised to do so. And that final message of warning, as hard as it sounds, is a message of love, because it calls us to acknowledge Jesus. Think of the simplicity of it. My people, he's basically saying, I love you. It is time for judgment to come. Why don't you leave the evil philosophies of this earth? Why do you want to be steeped in evolution and all these philosophies? Why don't you acknowledge me as your creator and your redeemer? Why do you want to follow philosophies that exalt the human and denigrate the divine? Don't you want to acknowledge me because I am the one who sanctifies you and makes you whole and makes you sons and daughters of the Most High? That's the message. Isn't it a nice message? It's a sweet call from the Lord above, saying, come, my children, why would you be lost? And you can listen or you can reject. That's the final message to this world. It's tough, but I believe it's true. Amen.